Jurgen Klopp's Reds after their surprise defeat at the Vitality Stadium, 1-0 by Bournemouth. Elliott and Bajcetic are replaced by Jota and Milner. So the home team then for Ancelotti are Courtois in goal. Then across the back four, Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger and Nacho. In midfield it's Modric, Camavinga and Kroos, with Valverde and Vinicius Jr. supporting Benzema. For the Reds it's Alisson in goal, and a back four of Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Alexander-Arnold, with the holders Fabinho and Milner. And then it's Jota, Gakpo and Salah behind Nunez. Well, we're closing in on kick-off at the Santiago Bernabeu in this round of 16 tie. It may well be that Real Madrid have already won it 5-2 up from the first leg to Anfield, but there's still 90 minutes to get through, and if anybody can spring a surprise, it's maybe a Liverpool team who recently posted 7 on the scoreboard against Manchester United. Who knows? Anyway, we'll find out. Los Blancos make just 2 changes from the team who beat Espanyol 3-1 at the weekend, with Rodrigo and Tchouaméni replaced by Rudiger and Benzema the skipper. 2 changes as well for Jurgen Klopp's Reds after their surprise defeat at the Vitality Stadium, beaten 1-0 by Bournemouth. Elliott and Bajcetic are replaced by Jota and Milner. So the home team then for Ancelotti are Courtois in goal. Then across the back four, Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger and Nacho. In midfield it's Modric, Camavinga and Kroos, with Valverde and Vinicius Jr. supporting Benzema. For the Reds it's Alisson in goal, and a back four, Van Dijk, Konate and Alexander-Arnold, with the holders Fabinho and Milner. And then it's Jota, Gakpo and Salah behind Nunez. Well, we're closing in on kick-off at the Santiago Bernabeu in this round of 16 tie. It may well be that Real Madrid have already won it 5-2 up from the first leg to Anfield, but there's still 90 minutes to get through, and if anybody can spring a surprise, it's maybe a Liverpool team who recently posted 7 on the scoreboard against Manchester United. Who knows? Anyway, we'll find out. Los Blancos make just 2 changes from the team who beat Espanyol 3-1 at the weekend, with Rodrigo and Tchouaméni replaced by Rudiger and Benzema the skipper. 2 changes as well for Jurgen Klopp's Reds after their surprise defeat at the Vitality Stadium, beaten 1-0 by Bournemouth. Elliott and Bajcetic are replaced by Jota and Milner. So the home team then for Ancelotti are Courtois in goal. Then across the back four, Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger and Nacho. In midfield it's Modric, Camavinga and Kroos, with Valverde and Vinicius Jr. supporting Benzema. For the Reds it's Alisson in goal, back four of Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Alexander-Arnold, with the holders Fabinho and Milner. And then it's Jota, Gakpo and Salah behind Nunez. Well, we're closing in on kick-off at the Santiago Bernabeu in this round of 16 tie. It may well be that Real Madrid have already won it 5-2 up from the first leg to Anfield. There's still 90 minutes to get through, and if anybody can spring a surprise, it's maybe a Liverpool team who recently posted 7 on the scoreboard against Manchester United. Who knows? Anyway, we'll find out. Los Blancos make just 2 changes from the team who beat Espanyol 3-1 at the weekend, with Rodrigo and Tchouaméni replaced by Rudiger and Benzema the skipper. 2 changes as well for Jurgen Klopp's Reds after their surprise defeat at the Vitality Stadium, beaten 1-0 by Bournemouth. Elliott and Bajcetic are replaced by Jota and Milner. So the home team then for Ancelotti are Courtois in goal. Then across the back four, Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger and Nacho. In midfield it's Modric, Camavinga and Kroos, with Valverde and Vinicius Jr. supporting Benzema. For the Reds it's Alisson in goal, and a back four of Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Alexander-Arnold, with the holders Fabinho and Milner. And then it's Jota, Gakpo and Salah behind Nunez. Well, we're closing in on kick-off at the Santiago Bernabeu in this round of 16 tie. It may well be that Real Madrid have already won it 5-2 up from the first leg to Anfield, but there's still 90 minutes to get through, and if anybody can spring a surprise, it's maybe a Liverpool team who recently posted 7 on the scoreboard against Manchester United. Who knows? Anyway, we'll find out. Los Blancos make just 2 changes from the team to beat Espanyol 3-1 at the weekend, with Rodrigo and Chalmeni replaced by Rudiger and Neymar, the skipper. 2 changes as well for Jurgen Klopp's Reds after their surprise defeat at the Vitality Stadium, beaten 1-0 by Bournemouth. Elliot. It's a very warm welcome to our coverage of this, and I feel like the Mission Impossible theme tune should have been the precursor and the preamble to this. But anyway, I guess that Liverpool, the kind of team that could come back from 5-2 down, maybe. But I think that Real Madrid are one of the favourites for this competition, as Liverpool try and get an early start, get something going. Anyway, I'm John Hogan. I'm joined by Max Hunter today for, I don't know, a chance to watch something that may be incredible. But you know what, it won't be for trying, and if any team can, maybe it is Liverpool.
Yeah, you'd probably be more likely to say that, back that with Liverpool of a few years ago. Liverpool this season probably don't have that capability.
7-0 against Manchester United. Come on, mate.
This is Real Madrid.
But they're Manchester United. They were on a good run. You know,
But then they go and lose 1-0 to Bournemouth, so haven't got that consistency, that sort of definite face of.
Well,
they're kind of like
that much
the French rugby side of a few years ago. If you don't know what kind of Liverpool side are going to turn up. So I think Liverpool ball goes out of play.
If they start tackling people, you'll know it's the French rugby union team from a few years ago. Anyway, more Frenchmen on the Real Madrid team tonight, I think. Although Brem Kanate is in Liverpool lineup. Anyway, big enough lads, but maybe not big enough to be in the French. Ramos has left, very likely to get it as Milner gets the byline. He's attempted crossing from the left. He's not bad, but he just got deflected and looped up into the Courtois. So James Milner, I don't be surprised start tonight. It's quite an attacking lineup, and playing in midfield. He doesn't score anyway, and eventually the flag goes up.
Yeah, it just went far too soon. Assistant, I think everybody kind of knew, and he knew as well. He kind of took off the foot off the X free, yeah, about 3 yards offside there. Yeah, he's gone for a midfield pair of Fabinho. There's Klopp. See Elliot or Bishitek, but I think Bishitek's got a bit of a knock, so he's not playing from the start, and he's gone for experience, going for solidarity in the midfield, so people can bomb on like Trent and Mo Salah and Andy Robertson from the back. But Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to be very, very. How much defensive work hold to do?
I don't know. I just don't think it can work. They're up against essentially a 4-3-3, so Junior's going to run into the gap that's left. If he creeps forward, which he will. I don't understand when Liverpool play 4-3-3 that Arnold can't play in midfield. I just don't think he's a decent defender when he gets back, but all too often he finds himself out of position. Anyway, that's up to Jurgen Klopp to sort out. As Modric, who is just going to go on forever, finds Toni Kroos, who's just going to go on forever, and the ball eventually with Vinny Jr. and then Benzema, another old stager, but I don't know what it is about Italians, Carlo Ancelotti, keeping these old guard players happy and fit and well. They constantly seem to be playing. You know, yeah, I never see whether they're rested or not. I mean, that must happen during the league programme, but they always seem to be ready and available.
It's that Mediterranean diet. It does wonders to you. A bit of sunshine, a bit of fish, some nice veg, olive oil, does it all for you. But I think, yeah, in the league, once the game's won for Real Madrid, they just take it off the back, don't they? And they can rest. But Modric, Kroos played so long, 104 and 137 games just in the Champions League. They know how to look after themselves and go forward. As Vinicius Junior's first time, Alexander-Arnold, and he gets around him, but quite easily.
Yeah, relatively easily. And Modric finds a good ball to Nacho, and then Vinicius Junior to the byline. He's checked. That's the reason that Konate's in there, who has got pace all of his own. to deal with that. The only thing about that is that then he gets dragged across, and then Van Dijk he's left staring at Benzema and whoever springs from midfield. And Valverde is. I wondered about him, and then the more I've watched him, the more I just think he's a terrific player. I've got that little whistle thing going in my voice tonight, which is nice. Anyway, I think that's because I'm getting old. 5 minutes gone anyway, and Real Madrid 0 Liverpool. I mean, the Reds started brightly, and the way this tie is. I mean, I guess we've seen stranger things, haven't we? They win 3-0. Nobody was expecting Man City to score as many as they did last night. I mean, Haaland had a hat-trick in the first half, didn't he? Anyway, Modric now with the corner kick comes in. That's headed away by Alexander Arnold. To Benzema, shot comes in, blocked by Canate. Ball headed back in by Benzema. Fabinho scrapes it clear. Salah's ball out. He's not a good one. And Alexander Arnold was bombing on the left-hand side. Could pick it. Shame.
I just need to fend it off, help it off to Trent, and there was Jota and Nunes making runs ahead. It was a pace and attack with the quality on the ball that Alexander Arnold has. There could have been something there. Liverpool yet to throw a real menacing punch yet. Courtois just had a cross to gather, but apart from that, nothing.
Oh, Salah picks up the ball. To run. He has an opportunity, and his shot is saved by good feet. Well, the ball broke kindly there for Salah, and then the defender looking after him, Rudiger, slipped over. Salah got second by Nunes. And they've been number one.
Yeah, Rudiger letting it just a high ball, just letting him come across him. He could have put his head on it or brought it down his chest. So Liverpool's first menacing attack just said literally a minute before, well, not even that, a few seconds before that broke, that they get to throw a punch. Their first one has come. Courtois choosing to save with his feet rather than trying to gather it. Be interesting to see.
We go. Look at this Junior running it, who is. I thought we put a good challenge. I thought there. Vinny Junior puts his hand up and will get the free kick from our referee today, the German Felix Zweier. Anyway, anything wrong there? Yeah, he just caught his man, didn't he, Alexander Arnold? He was committed, and then he handballed it. Apart from that, he was clean as a whistle.
Yeah, and didn't get the ball.
No, he sort of slid through him. He was in a good start position, and I was thinking, well, at least he's marking him. He's expressing, and even if he's in a good position, might catch him. It's a free kick. 3 men at the edge of the area. Anybody? Right. Well, if anybody wants it, because there's nothing him. Right. Well, Jota looks, and he could mark him if he wanted. Ball is out to Valverde. Shot comes in. It's not a good one from him, but he was free. Why did Jota look back and think I don't have to do anything there?
I don't know, but it was really, really obvious. Tony Kroos, you can deliver a ball like that on a plate. If anything, it was slightly under hit. I was thinking maybe just loop it over to Valverde on the volley for him to have a go at it. Wait out and skid on. Benzema's picked up a loose ball.
Yeah, finds Vinny Junior in the box. Little cut onto Nacho. The cutback looks good, but Milner gets there before Modric can take it in, because that's all it would have taken. So they've racked there. In fact, it was Tony Kroos rather than Nacho running across that left-hand side, running a good line to overlap there. And, well, maybe that should have been a goal. But that's good defending by Milner.
Yeah, Milner not giving up Benzema, keeping him around. But, sorry, Benzema. But just playing easily.
Yep, out there playing their football again. Again, Valverde, great work from him. Crossing dealt Van Dijk on a half volley, so he's done okay. Yeah, we're not the only show in town tonight. Other things are happening, and of course the other game is Napoli-Frankfurt, which is pretty much done and dusted, you would have said, even though that's 0-0. But we suspect Napoli are going to be too strong for Frankfurt, like they were in the first leg. And of course, in Madrid,
2-0 in the first leg.
Yeah, it was something like it was very comfortable as well. You know, they looked a class apart. They looked like they could finish, but Frankfurt, not so much. So German teams, aside from Bayern Munich, struggling a bit. But I think Bayern Munich, for my not only that, then players coming off the bench were pretty good.
Yeah, their bench is just, their squad depth is just insane. You could have two full 11s.
Yeah, Cancelo came off the bench. Serge Gnabry, Sane.
Musiala as well.
Yeah, Musiala started. You know, but they'd such a lot of strength. They can only play 11 of them though, so you never know. I mean, Real Madrid's 11 is as good as anybody, but they're the other team I definitely put in there. You know, and in our office, good money's been shelled out on Napoli to win the whole thing. They're tearing up Serie A. That takes some doing, but I think it's more about the others falling away than maybe Napoli being, the huge force in European football. And we'll find out what way as Van Dijk wins the header from a corner. Shot comes in again from Valverde, blocked away by Fabinho. The ball with Salah, he blocks it away, but they're finding it. They're struggling to close their lines there as Cruz has just shot the half. Again, it's shot target. Alisson's in a good position for that, but he really caught hold of that, Tony Cruz. And Liverpool defending leaves a lot to be desired there.
Yeah, they haven't looked. When Real Madrid have come forward, they've had a decent pop or a goal like there with Valverde as well. Or they've just managed to get into the penalty area and a loose pass behind. Somebody has got Liverpool off the hook. Liverpool just needing some time on the ball, and Real Madrid are just letting them have it at the moment. But Real Madrid have got their oozing confidence, aren't they? Every time they go forward or every time they get on the ball recently, it just seems to come off for them. And Liverpool struggling to find each other as Van Dijk plays an ambitious diagonal to Salah, and it's come off.
He has, and he's going to get the run on Nacho here. Looks across, can he find his man? The ball is eventually teased out by Rudiger. That's better from Liverpool. That's the Reds machine that we know. And some love. Of course, we're neutrals in this, but you've got to love Mo Salah, don't you? He's just a super player. And what a servant he's been to Liverpool. Maybe his story's not over yet. Was leading scorer in the Champions League this season until last night, and Poland did what he did. As we're just looking at somebody who
Militao, he's gesturing. There was an elbow in his face there.
Didn't see it. Incidentally, elsewhere in the Premier League tonight, there are games. Brighton 1, Palace 0, Southampton 0, Brentford 1. So the teams who are desperate for points are seemingly on none at the minute. There are games going on in the Championship tonight. It shouldn't be too long before Burnley are back in the top flight, but they've been held at Hull at the minute. Middlesbrough pretty good. I think they drew last night. Anyway, ball to the box here, and Van Dijk wins the first header. Then Valverde spectacularly volleys the ball away. Vinicius Jr. gets the run here. Robertson dares to him. Chips the ball into the path of Benzema, brings it under control on his knee. He's got to cut back, and then he heels the ball away from himself. Great skill initially.
Yeah, cut it back onto his own calf, didn't he? But the initial groans suddenly turned to applause. Vinicius Jr. playing a fantastic ball, but he just couldn't get the ball under control. The Frenchman just bouncing up and he controlled it off his fine. It came fired off there. Back to the challenge, well covering from Capco, who's got all the way back there. And there was a little elbow, just seen an elbow from Van Dijk onto Militao, totally accidental. It was the arm was down by his side.
Anyway, corner kick taken quickly. Now Cruz puts the ball across. It's headed to the far post, and what a save by Alisson. I tell you what, they cannot believe that that ball's not ended up the back of the net. Vinny Jr. just heading hands. How did that not go in? And that's the question for Max Hunter, who's sat by the side of me. We'll bring him in just a second because they haven't quite cleared it. Ball's got to about the halfway line.
Right forearm of Alisson. He just made himself big. He knew he was second best. He just had to get over to that, cross the goal line quickly, and just made his body big as possible. And Vinicius Jr. was just unfortunately struck the right arm, but Madrid they're playing so well. Liverpool can't get close to him. You see the pass what should be made, and Real Madrid are making it every time. And Liverpool are just scrambling around in the middle, trying to pick up the pieces, and Alisson digs them out this time.
Yep, and then a short ball, Robertson now hairs away. beats one, then two, then his ball to Darwin Núñez is pretty good. But look at the pace there. Rudiger gets across, and I think Valverde had got him for pace anyway. And then Valverde makes a little break into midfield. He clashes with Milner. Milner comes off second best there. I'm a big fan of Valverde. It's just, for me, he's almost a complete footballer. He's got the lot.
Right. He had the pace, but he was just struggling to get round Núñez. Well, Núñez just had him holding him behind.
He got to start,
yeah, he didn't want to do him from behind and give away an unnecessary free kick. Some Valverde, and then Rudiger comes sliding in and just takes out the Uruguay. And he has a bit of complaint, but he knew that he was just cream crackered there. Núñez, Liverpool just knocked the ball around. Saying you've still got the ball in Liverpool's argument.
Is now run into the box, but Courtois, a big man, comes out to the edge of his area. It's been quite a good so far. I mean, really live. Concerned that Los Blancos are controlling the game. They're controlling the ball, aren't they? I mean, the movement is sublime. Like you said, every pass that needs to go where it's going goes there, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's never too soon or too late. It's very early under hit. His bench has been out again. Just jumps over the challenge, takes it, but he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, one of the players pleads for Canate to get a booking there. The referee just gives him a look. I don't know.
You see him booked. It's high on the boot. The ball's away, but you can also say that just seeing a replay of that Rudiger challenge on Núñez, 2 feet in there maybe.
I'll tell you what, if he doesn't hurdle that challenge of Núñez, he's probably going to have a broken ankle, isn't he? Rudiger didn't take any prisoners. We saw that Champions League final, didn't we? When Kevin De Bruyne must have thought he'd run into a brick wall, and it was a brick wall, but just called Antonio Rudiger. Anyway, Liverpool trying to make ground out there. Vinny Jr. and Mo Salah having a good old tussle. He ended up, Vinny Jr. sort of kicking Salah. We're looking at Vinicius Jr. and his little battles with Alexander Arnold, who is clutching at straws, but I'm not having a big pop at him tonight. That's not what we're trying to do. He's up against one of the best inside lefts in the world.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to think in my head, who would you rather have in that position, and I can't think of anybody.
Well, there's the kid at PSG, isn't there? Who's all right, but you know what I mean, that blind kind of pace, you know, and they're both so skillful, aren't they? You know, if you get lulled into they stop with the ball at their feet and then they burst again, you've had it. If you're not giving them 10 yards, I will break off, because here's Salah into the box, an opportunity. The ball is flashed out by Jota. He sort of swiped at his volley there, and he just couldn't catch it right. But again, it's another nice counter-attack from Liverpool.
Rush of head to Jota. He maybe just panicked, didn't he? Just that moment of composure they needed. He had time to bring it down, or just not even bring it down, just wait for the ball to come down and move across him a little bit more. He swipes at it early, so early it's come off his shin pad. But here we go, we've finally seen a replay of that great Alisson save. It's headed back across goal from Rudiger. Vinicius Jr. does the correct thing in trying to send it back from where it came, so Alisson's body weight's going one way than the other, but Alisson, as we said, makes himself as big as possible, and it's a fantastic save. Good goalkeeping. Yeah,
well, there have been chances for both the two teams. I mean, you know, Liverpool are going to have to run the risk tonight. They've got quite an attacking formation. I mean, they've got 4 attackers essentially, haven't they? And usually go with 3. And they've carved out a good couple of chances. We saw Núñez shot on target, and then Jota there slicing that left foot volley wide, but 2 fairly clear-cut chances in 18 minutes. You know, a lot of it is playing that game, rolling the dice, and they're doing that. In order to do that, they're also inviting Real Madrid on, which is a risky business. And they've had a Toni Kroos pile driver saved by Alisson, who's then saved from close range. Here they are again. Shot comes in. Oh, it's off the crossbar. Well, I tell you what, you invite any decent player to just have a pot shot. Camavinga is dead close there with his left foot drive. And yeah, the woodwork this time saving Liverpool.
I think Alisson might have got a fingertip to that. So Alisson's been a very busy man, as you say, playing with two midfield. Liverpool, Real Madrid are playing with three of Kroos, Camavinga and Modric, and one of them's always available. Whether that's because obviously it helps that you've got more men in the midfield. They're always peeling off, holding back, or one goes too far forward and plays in between the lines of the midfield and the defensive four, and they're always finding space. This time Camavinga just lined the shot, took his time under no real pressure, and just the fingertips of Alisson denied him as he tipped it onto the crossbar.
Yeah, so I didn't see the save. I'd love to see that again now. And well, so far Alisson has been Liverpool's best player as the ball into box for Liverpool, eventually blocked by Modric, and then Kroos, very extravagant back heel to Camavinga. Valverde, a more simple ball back, but they run the risk there. They've given the ball away inside the area, but just for a second, Danny Carvalho bailed out by his goalkeeper, and then a nice ball out from Courtois, and now ground made, and Vinny Jr. running at Canate now, and he's got the ball on a string. At some point he'll need to cut, and he cuts really well there. Finds Valverde at the edge of the area. Modric on the overlap. Ball the outstep of his right boot. It's very clever how he can stab that ball away. Almost a bit like a Rabona, that, wasn't it? But in the end, they've won themselves a corner. Yes, what a tip. We're seeing that Camavinga shot again. And firstly, deflected off Milner. So a couple of things there. It might have gone in but for Milner. But Milner's backside might have made it more difficult for Alisson as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Milner's backside would have made it a lot more difficult for Alisson.
Anyway, corner kick now. Headed up in the air by Canate. Not cleared though. Ball bouncing in the box. Fabinho eventually hooks that one clear. Camavinga picks it up. And he puts the ball out left into the box. It goes. Milner heads away to Modric now with a strike. Oh! Whistles over the top. That was close. That was really close.
I can't remember the last time I've seen a football connected so well to someone's boots. He just brings it down, and then just on the little, just after the second bounce, it's a rocket. It's he just it's laser close to the crossbar. You can't describe something like that. It's just pure football.
It's beautiful.
Pure,
I mean, it's a beautiful hit. If the ball was a little bit heavier, I think the
gravity was a little bit heavier.
If we're on a different planet. Yeah. Anyway,
if we're just 1 mile further away from the sun.
Anyway, he was dead close. Is that what we're trying to say? So we are halfway through the first half. Listening to independent off-tube studio commentary. It's a really good game of football. Two teams hard at it. I'm John Hogan, but to take us now through to half-time is Max Hunter.
Thank you, John. Yep, Liverpool still, what can we say, hanging in there. They're still in the match. I've heard they're in the tie. Who knows? Maybe just one goal will tell us that. But Liverpool like to have a goal definitely before the break. As that attack breaks down, Real Madrid just sit off the Reds from Merseyside and hang back and let them give a little bit of the ball. But you know that Los Blancos are in control. They're just toying with it. They're just having a little bit of a reset and recharge. And as soon as they win the ball back, I'm sure they'll be flying forward yet again. Here's standing captain James Milner. Liverpool are in the Real Madrid half, but make something of it. But he can't as of yet. And Liverpool just looking for the way through. Can't get round. The centre midfield three are rather tight, sort of protecting the Andy Robertson with Danny Carvajal. As Fabinho's got space, looked at the goal quickly and thought about having a pop at goal, and then his passes under hit, and Nacho gets underneath that. Elsewhere in the Champions League, it's Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0, and in the Europa Conference League there was a game earlier as Ghent beat Başakşehir, and they go through as well. So that's the other action in Europe done today. And Liverpool have got to take hope. Klopp said that there's a 1% chance, we've got nothing to lose, we're going to go for it. And so far they've had a couple of good chances, but Real Madrid in control. Yeah, they are. When they beat Man United, I mean, I think it was 8 efforts on target and 7 went in.
Sometimes your luck just goes like that. Nearly everything Erling Haaland hit last night was on target, and most of them were from inside the box. Things aren't going to drop like that for you all the time, but they need a little bit of luck. And what luck brings, if they can just grab a goal. I mean, Man City started with luck last night. Lucky penalty, really lucky. But sometimes I've watched them play and they get frustrated if things don't go their way. Well, here what Liverpool need to do is grab a goal, get momentum, make the crowd quiet. It's a walk in the park right now because whatever is happening in the game, they're still 3 goals better off on aggregate. But when that changes to 2, all of a sudden it's like, ooh, then they get another one and then it's momentum. Vinicius Junior is the offside here, runs into Alisson again, who makes a good save. The flag probably went up, and they're moaning at the assistant referee, but he's got to let play go, and then we'll all sort it out afterwards. Is Vinicius Junior off?
He's
no,
onside.
He's onside.
Van Dijk. The
wow.
Correct decision by the official in terms of waiting, because if he went through and had scored the goal, oh my. Well, the Los Blancos fans would have known before the break. Messages would have come through. It's Liverpool now. Darwin Núñez to the byline, gets a ball in, and it's overhit. But Andy Robertson's there to pick up the pieces, quickly scans, picks out a man looking for Gakpo. That's intercepted, but Fabinho picks up that. Trent dinks the ball in, flicked on by Gakpo, and another chance for Liverpool, but they're just lacking composure as that header goes wide. You can see what he wanted to do, but just poorly executed.
Yep, just on that, just sliding in, and Núñez did really well, hop out of his way and keep the ball. At the other end, like we said, Vinicius Junior played on, and while every Liverpool player had their hand in the air and was moaning a bucket, at least the goalkeeper had the presence of mind to keep in the game and make a save, and that's ended up, being the save that sort of keeps him in the tie. Because if he gives up, the ball rolls past him, and then we're all looking at it going, actually, he's on. So there's no doubt. Alisson's been Liverpool's best player. He's 10 out of 10 so far tonight, and we've seen some pretty good performances so far. But yeah, he's been perfect.
Yeah, he's been the most switched on so far. Remember John Joe Shelby scoring a goal, and everybody gave up, thinking he was way offside. In the first season of VAR in the Premier League, VAR checked him and went, yeah, it's a goal. And the goalkeeper just sort of watched the ball go past him because he assumed he was way offside. James Milner's given away a free kick on Valverde. He's just late on the number 15 Real Madrid man. Simple decision for the ref, and they've knocked it short, and they're going to try build something as Benzema's come deep to help out. Now Nacho helps it over to Vinicius Junior on the left-hand side. Nacho replaced David Alaba in the first leg of this round, and Alba obviously is not back as of yet. As Real Madrid give the ball away and then put Milner under insane pressure. Well, he'll be able to have a few words with the Spanish players. He speaks good Spanish. Apparently, he speaks Spanish in his sleep, does James Milner.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard. So he'll be.
Well, does anybody know my language? Gibberish. That's what I talk in my sleep. I'm just looking at the match stats. 50% possession. Surprised me really, because it looks like Real Madrid have had more of the ball. Yeah. They've certainly created more, because 7 shots, 3 on target, all 3 have been saved by our goalkeeper, and I'm not even sure they've included the one tipped onto the post, because I'd make it 4 saves. Anyway, 3 efforts from Liverpool, just 1 on target, and that was a Núñez shot early after good work from Mo Salah, who's just been fouled by Nacho.
Yeah, you'd say with Real Madrid, when they've been in possession, they've been very direct, very quick with it, and the turnover happens quickly. When Liverpool have it, it's very slow, lethargic and steady as they come forward, and Salah puts the ball in, looking for these 2 men, Jota and Núñez, in the box, but it's behind both of them, and Real Madrid will bring it away. But they've just been ushered into a corner. Carvajal tries to get out of it, and he's failed to do so as Robertson puts the ball in. It's just away from Jota, but Salah was there lurking at the back post, and Rudiger just had to be short, back in the lineup again, the German.
They did well there, Liverpool. They just hemmed him in, didn't they? Didn't let him out, and that's how to defend from the front, if you like. And then Rudiger will just let that ball roll out. Good stuff from him. Yeah, Rudiger's always alive, isn't he? And he realises he never marks space, really, Rudiger. He's always looking for somebody to get in the way of, and that's what I like about him. As we look at that save from Becker's shoulder again from Vinicius Junior, and he honestly he can't believe the ball didn't follow him into the back of the net with him, and that was probably the best chance today, albeit that we've seen the ball hit the crossbar as well, which was tipped on there by the goalkeeper Alisson Becker, who's having quite the game.
Yeah, he's been Liverpool's best player so far, as Milner's played a ball to Trent. It's way behind him, but Trent sprints back to get that. Well, of course, the big for comebacks, but Alisson Becker, before joining Liverpool, he had that famous win with Roma against Barcelona in the Champions League just before, coming back from 4-1 down in the first leg to win the second 3-0 to qualify on away goals when that rule was still in the know, as Fabinho brings the ball forward, dinks the ball in, looking for Nunez. He gets the header on it, but it's straight into the hands of Courtois. Not enough pace on it. It'd have to be really something special to beat
Takes a bit of getting round. I don't think he gets down so quickly, but that was almost spoon-fed to him at a nice height. But Nunez has had a couple of efforts now. Tell you what, I was really impressed with Haaland last night. Did that game, and even his header, you think, oh, that's regulation following one in, but he's so strong. He's so bullish, even with little things like that. His neck right through the ball. Making sure that ball is hit with force. Whenever he hits it, it remains hit, doesn't it? And most of it ended up in the back of the net last night. And weirdly enough, the Leipzig goalkeeper, I think he made about 5 or 6 saves.
Real Madrid playing out from the back, and they've beaten the high press already. Camavinga jumps away from Jota, brings it over to Valverde. The young Frenchman carries on his run, but is ignored by his teammates if they just put their foot on the ball and assess the situation. A beautiful crossfield pass right onto the chest of Vinicius Junior from Toni Kroos, and Real Madrid get going again elsewhere, getting going in the Premier League. Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 0. As just started the second half, and it's Southampton 0, Brentford 1, as we await that one to restart. And the other game in the Champions League 0-0 between Napoli and Frankfurt. Napoli was saying earlier will feel confident as Benzema takes a ball to feet, offside flag raised. You're saying it's just the draw could help you. Chelsea is still in the hat. They're not going well. AC Milan, they're in a little bit of free fall in Serie A. So two teams that the rest of the Europe's best will be looking out for to draw into the quarter-final, as Nunez enters the penalty on that right foot, goes for goal. Another fantastic save. This time it's from Courtois. It may not have been going in, but it definitely had to be dealt with, and Liverpool's best chance of the game. Really something from nothing by the Uruguayan.
Yeah, well, I think maybe it's going wide, but there's a lot of bend on it, and guess what? Thibaut can't leave it alone, can he? Not if he can get there. And he knows he's putting it out as well, so it's a safe thing for him to do. But it's corner kick, and it's a chance for the Reds.
Yeah, Mo Salah just puts himself on the toes of Courtois. I'm sure the Belgian is strong enough to just move out the way. It's aimed into Salah, but headed away. Gakpo puts it back in. Konate showing good strength, but he goes for goal, leaning back, all off balance, and it's sliced onto the big blue canvas behind Courtois' goal. Just again another thing where gravity wasn't heavy enough, the ball wouldn't come down for him.
No, I think they need to paint a cannonball. Again, look at that save from Courtois. I mean, he cuts a fine figure, doesn't he? Flying in the air. He's a big fella, but got a good spring on him as well. It's been a good contest this so far, but obviously, for the neutral, of which I am one, we want to see Liverpool goal, make it a bit more even, and just add that bit more complexity and drama into the situation. Because however well they've played, and they've played okay and created a few chances, they really need to be taking them now. It's no good to have sort of had a good first half. They probably need to nick a goal, Yeah,
they're playing against a very switched-on Real Madrid side who may have just said goodbye to the La Liga trophy. They're 9 points behind Barcelona as Vinicius Jr. collects the ball. He's the furthest man forward, but that's no problem as he cuts into that right foot and he has a shot on goal, but it's not powerful, and it's straight into the arms of Alisson, and a few shakes of the head and a few hands waft from the crowd. Easy collection from Alisson. It's the long barrier out. As Liverpool build again, it's a bit slow. There's no real venom in the way that they're moving the football around as Fabinho hesitantly crosses the whitewash into the Real Madrid half. We've got just over 10 minutes of normal time remaining. It's still Real Madrid 0, Liverpool 0 on this live independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Yet to have a goal in the Champions League at all tonight is Salah. Brings the ball down, helps it off to Jota, goes to cross to Gakpo, who goes for goal, and it's a thunderbolt stinging the palms of Courtois as he puts it behind for a corner.
Yeah, we talked about how sweetly some of the shots have been struck tonight, and that's as good as any, really. Picks it up, ball bounces, and he really lashes that. Courtois in a good position to start with. The ball is screaming in at the near post, and again, it's a really good save, that, actually.
Yeah, just Liverpool getting into the game now. The few chances that they had earlier on, they rushed and took a bit too soon, but Nunez and now Gakpo just waited for the right moment to strike the ball. That's a poor corner from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Was it a good one? Very clever, you know. He's keen for one, going it low at the near post, trying to catch Real Madrid out, looking for Salah. Oh, he's meant that, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think maybe he did, but I don't know. Anyway, he'll get another goal now. Can you do that again? I don't think he'd want to. Really.
I think they're awake now. Los Blancos, they're aware. Salah again on the toes of Courtois. It's a crowded 6-yard box and it gets a bit behind that. Van Dijk keeps it alive. He feels like he might have turned around expecting a penalty from the challenge from Benzema, but he's looked at our referee Felix Schweiger with disappointing eyes.
Yeah, I think that Benzema saw the flag and thought, I can get stuck in here. Anyway, he didn't damage him. He just obviously fouled him, but that was after the flag was up. So
a bit clumsy from behind.
Well, it's clumsy from Jota being caught offside, though, isn't it? Really, in a situation like that, I know a lot can happen, but you know, at the very least, you try and keep yourself behind the line. Failed to do that. Jota's one who hasn't really shown up tonight.
Waiting for the Portuguese man to get into the act. He hasn't had a run at a defender or really had a shot at goal. Just looking at the bench, obviously they've got Roberto Firmino, Carvalho, who can come on and help out in that position. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to an extent, maybe, or even Harvey Elliott's just. But you say Carvalho is the more like for like. But what's happened? There's a tangle in the legs. There's Nacho's gone down unopposed. Just looking at the replay, see if there was a scrape on the calf. No, there wasn't.
He's shot on his heel.
Ah, there it is.
I mean, that, you know, that hurts. I don't think it's meant. He just his studs got caught in the boot. But like I said, it's the full weight of a man going down on his studs. Pressure equals force over area, so that's you know. Not going to be that nice.
Sorry, what was that?
A bit of physics for you.
Sorry, what?
Pressure equals force over area. We all know that. We all went to school, didn't we? Did you? Anyway, so yeah, the weight of Mo Salah onto 3 studs onto his ankle is bound to hurt. Anyway, he's all right, but it wasn't meant. Just one of those things, just a tangle.
Well, Nacho's had to take his boot off and reassess as sweat drips off his brow as he comes back to his feet, and we're ready to go again. Here he is back on the ball. Gibson goes with Toni Kroos, and Real Madrid moving the ball so freely and effortlessly, just like an artist, moving the pen around the canvas. Brush, brush, brush. 1 touch, 2 touch stuff as Real Madrid going back to their keeper, but more out of choice rather than pressure. They're trying to drag Liverpool forward and then beat them around the sides as Rudiger plays it into Nacho. There's space for exploit here, but Vinicius Jr. is now brought down from Canate, who's been dragged over right to the right wing. So there's spaces for Real Madrid to exploit. They just can't quite get to them just yet at this moment in time.
Yeah, Canati was a bit over the top there, and otherwise they've done quite a good job of hemming him in. If any team's going to play out the press, then it's this Real Madrid team. But Liverpool have made a good job of it. They've got all these attackers with all this energy, and they're putting it in. It's been hard yards from Liverpool. They're not doing it a cheap way tonight. But they're a silly foul again in the middle by Fabinho, and that's been spotted by the referee.
Yeah, I don't see what his complaints are. The ball carried on its natural course when Kroos was tumbling on the ground. That's the first loose pass tonight from a Real Madrid man. Camavinga plays it into Andy Robertson, and Liverpool will look to break with James Milner, but Los Blancos are back in formation and are making it very difficult. Nunez is on this left-hand side. As the game goes on, he might be told to stay more central. As Diego Jota's there at the moment, he's not making himself available. He's sort of standing and watching the game go by. As an ambitious ball looking for Alexander Arnold on the far side is overhit, and it goes straight out of play.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening but not much going on. It's still 0-0. It's still 5-2 on aggregate, and all this is music to the ears of Carlo Ancelotti. Don't want great drama. He's not a dramatic person, is he, necessarily? What I like about him is how well-mannered and calm he is. He's like he's seen it all before, and he probably has. But his team are playing well. They're keeping their normal shape. They're trying to pick Liverpool off. They've got good players out there. There's no messing about from them, and there's no arch tactics to deal with what Liverpool are throwing at them. It's just like, well, here we are. We play like this. We play well enough. We'll get through. And they're again proving that they're a good team.
Yeah, they are. As Militao, goal scorer in the one of the many goals at Anfield, probably the one that there's been a power cut at the Amex Stadium, so that game has been there. As a ball's clipped, as Carvajal just knocks that down very easily, and top for Valverde. He's waiting for the bouncing ball to bounce in his favour, but Canati gets cross, helps it back to Alisson, and Alisson just has a little short dash to get that ball. But I think Canati, there is an arm on the shoulder, but Canati's got a fistful of Valverde's shirt, so it's a bit of well, everybody's been a bit naughty there. But Liverpool, they'll need a goal soon. They'll need to, maybe now they'll just shut up shop before half time, go in at the break level.
They were just trying to show us that perhaps Jota was level, and then he got fouled in the box. It's the kind of thing, well, how do you know about that? Unless VAR takes a good long look, which they didn't, by the way. Why have the directors chosen to show us that now? Is because maybe they've had a longer look and thought that might have been a penalty,
Might have been. Vinicius Jr. approaches the penalty area, comes back to Kroos. Now Camavinga, long sleeves, one of the few players, or maybe the only, Valverde's in long sleeves in Madrid. It's an interesting choice given that when we see close-up of a player, the bright pink sweat everywhere. They're just casually knocking the ball around very easily. Los Blancos and Camavinga, just a straying pass backwards, but Courtois able to get onto that, as they've given the ball away here. As Capco's offside position, and he's handballed at it, handled the ball there, and the referees quickly blow up for that.
Yeah, so a ball to hand, really. I don't know how Gakpo could get out of the way when the ball's thumped at him from a yard away. It's about 14 degrees in Madrid, but some of the players sweating buckets, aren't they? Nacho must be a free sweater. He's dripping, isn't he?
It'll be good to have in a cricket team at mid-off, just shining the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing the wrong sport, isn't he? But it's a lovely night to play football. Beautiful, really.
Fired in. There's a bit of space there, but there's a bit of space for Valverde because he was offside. Liverpool just letting him go, leaving him be.
Yeah, he was running through the middle there. He must have known he'd run offside at that point. Yeah, do you know what? Robertson doing his level best there because he'd lost him. It's his man, and so he span round into the middle. Robertson did his level best to play him on then. So he's just a little bit unlucky, the Uruguayan.
Well, the chances have just gone away in the last 15 minutes or so. It was a very entertaining half an hour. Real Madrid with some beautiful champagne football and some good chances, and equally, if not better, saves from Alisson to keep Liverpool level in at the ties. Had a close range save from Vinicius Jr. A beautiful fingertip stop from a Camavinga effort, and Luka Modric got as close as you could without scoring as he whistled the ball over the crossbar. That Modric one, I've never seen a ball so beautifully connected in my life. Is Real Madrid's Valverde to Carvajal, just knocking it around in front of the technical areas, in front of the Don Ancelotti. Benzema chests the ball down. He's isolated, but Vinicius Jr. is 40 yards away, and he picks him up perfectly as Real Madrid come forward. Vinicius Jr. obviously got that through to Benzema, as Benzema's shot on goal is well blocked from Milner, and it dribbles through to Alisson.
Yeah, again, Milner's done a lot of good stuff tonight. Second block he's made inside the area. You know, he's covering every blade of grass for his team. And then he flicks the ball through to Nunez, Milner. So, yeah, he's having a good game. But they need a goal.
As ever, the workhorse. Keep going as Trent's providing an overlap for Salah. He's in the penalty area. No one's closing him down. Goes for a cross for Jota, but Rudiger's there putting a block in, and then he's... As good defenders do, they celebrate that block like a goal. We've got a goal in the other tie in the Champions League round of 16. Napoli have taken the lead against Frankfurt. As we go back to this corner, Liverpool just slowing the pace down. Want to get it perfectly. Who scored is Osimhen, of course. It is for Napoli. Keeps going. So this may be the last passage of play. 15 seconds of time added on. It comes in. It's over hit. It's over everybody. Gakpo picks it up though. Hesitates on the ball and invites the challenge from Valverde. Robertson picks up the ball. Looks for his man in red. He's gone looking for Van Dijk. And he doesn't win the ball. It's headed out to play by Benzema. And that will be that at the Bernabeu. As both teams go into the break at Real Madrid 0, Liverpool 0.
It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made 4 good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Jr., though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made 4 good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Jr., though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made 4 good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Jr., though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. The save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target, mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really made four good saves. I make it now his best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior though has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but Nunez had a couple of shots on target. Mostly the save from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. It's half-time at the Santiago Bernabeu, but time running out for Liverpool. It's still 5-2 on aggregate. After a disappointing first half for them, they created bits and pieces, but although Nunez had a couple of shots on target, most of the saves from Courtois have been comfortable. At the other end, Alisson Becker has been faultless, really. Made four good saves, I'm making now. His best to Camavinga, a shot tipped onto the crossbar. Vinicius Junior, though, has gone pretty close as well. No signs of a big turnaround for the Reds. Well, we're back, and they have just kicked off for the second half. It's obvious that Liverpool need something, and the sooner the better for them. But unfortunately, they're up against a really good, well-organised team who are playing pretty well, who don't want to do any of the usual mistakes of sitting back and just thinking they can coast. They're actually playing quite hard, Real Madrid, and you know they're not sort of paying lip service to this tie. They're taking it seriously.
Yeah, they're just oozing class, aren't they? There's barely been any mistakes from anybody in a white shirt this evening. Courtois had a solid game, and like he had a nervy 20 minutes or so at Anfield, didn't he? But tonight, every pass that needs to be made by Real Madrid players gone to the man with the right pace, the right timing. And Liverpool just they've had flashes of opportunity, but they haven't had a 5-10 minutes of the game where they've been the dominant side. They've always been playing catch up to Real Madrid in the opening 45.
Yeah, Milner gets the better of Camavinga in the middle of the park, but the ball doesn't end up with the red shirt. Camavinga again under pressure, this time from Nunez, but he gets the ball away. And Courtois now finds Nacho, who hooks it over his shoulder. Vinicius Jr. on his chest. Really nice. Fabinho slides in, takes it off him though, that's good. And then that's bad, as Nunez plays the ball behind Jota. But that's good because Jota picks it up anyway. And that's bad because he toe ends it away. And
that's a corner.
That's is it really a corner? Vinicius Jr. there, what happened to him? Ooh, he got caught on the foot late there. Fabinho won the ball and caught him. The big double there for Fabinho, wins the ball, damages Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, and Vinicius Jr., where is he in the set piece? He's just dawdling around of space at the penalty area. He might be okay.
Anyway, corner kick for the Reds, headed away by Camavinga near post, back to Milner.
He's fine, isn't he? He's sprinting around.
Yeah, just flicks it out with his feet. Good ball into the box though. Gakpo heads it back in. It hasn't been cleared away. Can Salah get a shot in? No, he's got to turn. Fabinho at the edge of the box, turns the ball around the corner. Yeah, it's a poor ball.
Initially it was a good looking ball, but then it was on the right line, but then they kept on rising, didn't you? Thinking, oh no, it's floating up, it's not coming down. Full of men at the back post. Liverpool got to keep them hemmed in here. Real Madrid, they need an early goal to just get some panic going and just maybe some stress on the terraces. But as it going, Real Madrid again get themselves out of trouble, and then Camavinga's chopped out. Is it? No, play on.
No, he rolled around a bit, but the referees sort of and in the end the play does go on, but Vinicius Jr. Whatever it was ailing him, he's all right now. And then Toni Kroos gets there ahead of Mo Salah. Just quick thinking that, rather than the fact that he's quicker than the Egyptian. He clearly is not. But his brain works 10 to the dozen as Fabinho holds off a challenge in the midfield. But Benzema's stuck at it, and that allows Camavinga and Co to come away with the ball. Modric now, right foot, stabs it to his French captain. Valverde then out of his feet for Carvajal. We haven't seen much of Dani Carvajal today. But now Los Blancos coming forward again. An early ball from Modric, just buying a little bit more time. He's just a class act. Crossfield ball, but Alexander-Arnold picks it up, but then it's taken very comfortably away by Rudiger, who just got there ahead of Salah. Into midfield, Camavinga, and then the ball back. Nacho back to his keeper. And they won't mind so much about that. Elsewhere in the football firmament, well, Burnley have grabbed the second. They're away at Hull tonight. They're nearly up. The Clarets, they've been great this season, and they'll be in the Premier League next season. As Camavinga is tripped by Jota. Jota would be a change for me because I don't think he played well the first half. I think I gave him 10 minutes this second half. I know they need goals. He just looks a long way off it.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Camavinga's very round. There's no attempt to play the ball by Jota. Just a nice light little clip of the ankle of Camavinga brings him down. It's not what Liverpool need. It's just silly yellow card, and then maybe that silly yellow card turns into something else. They're trying to deliberately just trying to upset the tempo of Real Madrid, but Real Madrid are so good, they don't need a tempo to just turn it on. They can just go, right, now we're playing, now we're going to attack, and everything's perfect.
Well, Modric, though, tries to thread the eye of a needle, can't manage it, and then Milner's brought down by Camavinga. That'll be a free kick. Milner's playing his part tonight. I think he's had a good game. Certainly Alisson has been the best player on the park. But, well, according to Chris, there's a lack of intensity from Liverpool. I'm not sure about that, but Real Madrid are getting on the ball enough just to stop that intent. Like I said, not everybody's playing well. I don't think Jota's having a good game. He gets caught possession and he ends up fouling Nacho.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where he's lifted his foot back to play the pass, Jota back to his defender, but Nacho's nicked it in time, and then the follow-through has caught him on the back of the calf. He already committed to the pass, so he knew nothing too much about it. You just see Nacho might just making a meal of it because he didn't clip the back of his calf, it clipped the front.
No, he's cheating there, I think that's what that's called.
Yep, that's not pleasant from Nacho.
No, who has been caught today, but not this time. You know, players like Oxlade-Chamberlain, can he pot shot something for them? Obviously, Firmino would maybe give it a bit more structure. There's the midfielders who scored, Jones and Elliott. I don't know.
Carvalho for Jota for me. That would be the change I would make.
Right. Okay. I've kind of forgotten that he's there. But he's a good little player, isn't he? On song when he buzzes around. Can he really change the game? I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good signing, but it always seemed to me like the signing was cover, even though he's probably going to go on and play for Portugal, isn't he? I suspect. Yeah, not sure. He's only 20 as well. Anyway, here is number 20 for Real Madrid. Into the box he goes. Maybe a chance here, but Van Dijk gets there ahead of Benzema, and I think the flag was probably up as well. But for whatever reason, the referee's blown his whistle and nothing comes of that.
Yeah, let's have a look. The ball clip over the top. He might be onside. It'll have to have a second look at that because he can't be offside from the ball from Van Dijk. Maybe he was just trying to overplay.
Arnold tries to pass back to Salah, then he goes tearing towards the goalkeeper, who he's able to get it out of his feet. Fabinho finds Salah. Salah's robbed and in the middle of the park. Then the Valverde is through, in on goal, and it's another great save from Alisson Becker. What a game he's having. Valverde again into the box. Benzema strike. Guess what? Somebody saved it, and he's called Alisson.
Valverde there. Great work. Good timing of the run through. One-on-one. Salah here now gets round his man. Just helps to help it off. Nunez. Not enough weight on it. Militao across to cut it out. But that chance from Valverde just didn't hit it with enough power. Slightly under hit. But Alisson Becker wasn't to know. Got himself off his line quickly to close down the angle. Made himself big, but also compact. No holes between his legs. And then another good save from a good Benzema shot. It was slightly behind the Frenchman, but he managed to dig it out with enough power on it. And over in Napoli, they've doubled their lead as Victor Osimhen has got a second again. They are surely through to the next round.
Yeah, they look a good team. Maybe I'm doing them a disservice, but for me, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid.
I still think, well, obviously the fans will still want Chelsea or AC Milan because they're the two weak links in the tournament left. But it'll be interesting to see as a marker where this Napoli side are against maybe a Real Madrid, Man City, or a Paris. Bayern Munich. Yeah,
that would be a better draw, wouldn't it? Yeah, PSG were beat by Bayern Munich and beaten, comfortably. It seems, Neymar injured, and Mbappe and Messi, didn't quite have enough. Anyway, we just break off. Liverpool just chasing its shadows at the minute, albeit they're white shadows. As I say that, then the ball went high up the field. Rudiger's got a job to do, but he strides away from Mo Salah, and he runs the long route. Salah didn't really want to go there, as Carvalho then brought down by Darwin Nunez. Ancelotti just chewing his gum. He never looks any older, does he, or any younger? But he's looking good on his Mediterranean diet. Looking at Valverde now, just scraping the ball out of his feet. I think we could say anything we like about the shot. He's trying sort of no backlift, no look, and taking the ball early. But his problem is that Alisson had set his stall out. He'd made good ground into the box here. An opportunity. Benzema then Vinny Jr. Handball in the box, and that will be blocked off. But again, they were so close to goal there. It's more likely that tonight that Real Madrid score, I think, than Liverpool. Reds are fairly open, aren't they? But yet Real Madrid are, they're not making any allowance for Liverpool's predicament tonight. They're just playing their normal game, and it might be enough against the Liverpool team who look fairly open. As again, a little breakdown left-hand side. Canate's showing his pace there.
Yeah, Liverpool are only going to get more and more open. You like to think that they wouldn't give up as we continue the final 35 minutes. You like to think the clock will take more and more chances to encourage his players to make more and more risks as they look for those important free goals that they need. But Real Madrid, it doesn't look like they've had to work necessarily hard. They've just oozed class. They are a far much better team than Liverpool, and change is going to be made. Looks like Nunez and Jota are off for Bobby Firmino and Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, so Firmino in his last season, I think his manager said it was a surprise that he was going. I don't know why it should have surprised him. Just not getting the game time that he wants. The Brazilian at this back end of his career, I'm sure he'd like to play more regularly, and it's quite simple, isn't it? You feel your position's been taken perhaps by somebody else, maybe Nunez, but obviously Liverpool throwing a little bit of money at it, and Firmino not getting as much game time as Carvalho heads past Courtois. That will at least give a corner.
It will, and a chance for Liverpool to. They haven't done anything of note in this second half from immediate memory. Hasn't yet a chance Courtois. The corners that they've had in the first half didn't really come to much, taking it short.
Anyway, a ball headed away by Los Blancos, and they're off again on the run. Elliott trying to close down as Alexander-Arnold, a bit of a mistake there, nearly allowed Benzema in. And the Reds have given the ball away again. Nacho now on the break with Vinicius Junior. Firmino, as ever, working really hard. And then Harvey Elliott, fresh legs out there, robs the Brazilian. Keeps it away from Camavinga. Milner now on the ball. Little ball, and it's inside to Fabinho. 58 minutes gone. It is goalless. It's actually been a good game. There's been a lot of quality on show, but we're still waiting for the coup de grace from either of the two teams. The ball to Salah, just slightly overhit, and Courtois did a good job of gulling Salah into the idea that he was going to come for it, and he never did. Just let the ball roll out.
He did, yeah. Now Real Madrid just not wasting time, but just taking their time over this set piece. And now the game's gone. If they get Liverpool more and more infuriated, more mistakes might happen as Liverpool try high pressing, and within 2-3 passes Real Madrid are away with Camavinga, and now Luka Modric brings it up to the halfway line.
Yeah, so it's still that hell of a job and a mountain to climb for the Reds. They need to score 3 goals to take it into added time, that's all. But 1 goal looks like it would perhaps be beyond them tonight. Anyway, Cruz now with a long ball forward. And again, Kanata shows his pace. He's very swift, isn't he? There's no doubt that Alexander-Arnold now has deserted his post and he's just firing up the field. Now they've got to do that. Yeah. That's fine as long as Kanate is aware, and Van Dijk equally knows that that's the game that they're playing, because Kanate's got enough pace actually to deal with Vinicius Junior. He just depends. He can't let him get away from him. He didn't want Vinicius Junior running at him. But we'll see how that goes on, because I think Vinicius Junior is going to see a lot of the ball from here on in. Nacho plays it back to Cruz, lovely little in and out. Nacho again flicks it back to the German, who plays the cross-field ball to find Carvajal, who's got Militao, an easy ball, and he goes back to his keeper, and it's as simple as that as we hit the hour mark. And then Courtois taking a little bit too long to get the ball out with his feet and floats it straight out. At least the Reds will have the ball back. Jurgen Klopp getting a
first half performance, a few good chances that were well saved, or just unfortunately well blocked, but the second half. They haven't been able to hit that form again, as they look to build, and frustration will be coming in mixed with disappointment, as surely they'll start to realise. And he just shrugs it off, and he and Rudiger just had a talking to by a referee, so he's maybe Rudiger, that's what he does, doesn't he? He might become more and more selfish as the game's goes on. Might feel he has to do it himself instead of the second half. Just see the stat come up on screen, no attempts. Courtois had a pretty simple job in this second half. Liverpool just, they're not showing anything. They haven't shown us that they can go through the gears at all. It's all pretty stagnant, pretty pedestrian.
It is, just for the moment. Firmino now on the board. He tries to roll through. Yeah, when Klopp arrived at Anfield, we thought maybe they were a bit of a one-trick pony. The cross comes in blocked by Van Dijk. The two men in the middle there, and it was all heavy metal football, and they were a real steamroller team, weren't they? Where's that gone? You know, I thought maybe they overdid that a little bit, but it was impressive to watch, and they got teams on the back foot. But here, they just don't seem to have the energy to do that anymore.
It's just the cycle's over, isn't it?
It would seem that, yeah. I mean, you know, they've been trying to bring new good players in. Don't forget, somebody like Darwin Núñez, he's only 23. As Rudiger now breaks forward. Nacho now round the back, an opportunity. Ball comes in, Van Dijk gets there ahead of Benzema. It's great from Nacho, and great from Rudiger as well.
Yeah, everybody just looking at Vinicius Junior, and he was standing still. He was the decoy. Nacho found space and exploited, well laid off by Rudiger, who had a rare flurry forward. He just had a little step, and as he got to the whitewash of the penalty area, realising where he was, then offloaded. Real Madrid, they're just I feel like they're downshifting now. They're not playing with the same pizzazz as they were in the first half.
No, but well, there's an opportunity, and although Valverde gets up there pretty well, I think he was probably up too early to beat his man, and then the ball just bounces off his head. And anyway, good stuff from Modric again. They've just got loads of intelligent, good footballers playing well. It's as simple as that. I think Liverpool maybe would have had to find them on an off day. And also you need that little bit of luck, but so far they've not really had it. You know, they need something to go in, somebody to make a big mistake. As Firmino's on the ball, he goes back to Milner. Good ball, stood still. He's really that where it's at. When Real Madrid are on the ball, because Real Madrid now taking a little bit of a breather, but just in defence because Liverpool aren't moving, and then again the ball is taken off Fabinho, but this time Vinicius Junior kind of run the wrong line there. I think I read there what Benzema was doing. Anyway, Alexander-Arnold now. Have they run themselves to a standstill? If so, he needs to put a few more subs on, I think. Alexander-Arnold, a long ball right through the box, and just about kept in then by Andrew Robertson on the left-hand side. But anyway, really disappointing stuff. Every bit of standstill, and it's almost like the Reds have given up.
Yeah, Alexander-Arnold had the ball in a good crossing position, and Firmino and Salah, they were at the edge of the penalty area. They weren't looking, they weren't sort of watching him sort of making the run towards goal for Alexander-Arnold to put the ball in, for them to run on and ahead, and that intensity, that want for the ball just seems to have disappeared. Obviously they're not going to give up, they're going to try, but that edge and the bite is gone. Just that little something, it seems to have disappeared. It's almost like Real Madrid have told them, the game's up now, guys, we're in control.
Yeah, and they sure are. Anyway, there's still a quarter of the game of this game left, but the tie almost looks pretty dead, doesn't it? But anyway, you know, stranger things have happened. You know, in the space of 22 minutes yesterday, Man City had grabbed 3 goals, hadn't they, through their Norwegian international striker. I say Norwegian international rather than Norwegian, because we all know he was born in Leeds. Anyway, or did we? Here is Camavinga now. He gets the ball out with his feet to Modric, who is contacted by Milner, who's kept on going. He might lack a yard, but he's still a marathon runner, Milner. He's super fit, and he's kept going tonight. He has certainly played with credit, and he's not one to give up. Look at him. He's leading from example there as he closes down Modric.
Yeah, it would be in a game that you needed to go in and attack and be a force and set your stall out and put a mark on your game. Your number one player is Alisson and your second player is James Milner. Just sort of, second best player, just shows how poor the Liverpool have been in an attacking sense. They've just, nothing's come off, no linkage play, no passage play. They've been in charge, and it's all drifting away. The writing is firmly on the wall.
Yeah, I mean that's something. And your best player is a goalkeeper or a 37-year-old. Like I said, he another lad born in Leeds who is covering himself with great credit. Anyway, we'll break off because Cruz is on the ball. Liverpool are a terrific team and have been under Jurgen Klopp, but you get the feeling that a lot has got to change. It's like they needs a new engine somehow. We've seen fits and starts how good they can be, but yeah, you think a big rebuild is probably required. As Camavinga now gets the ball out of his feet, and now across from Carvalho straight into Alisson's mitts. He's not going to drop anything tonight, I don't think. Yeah, saw Mane come off the bench the other day. You know, again, he's another one, and you think, you know, maybe his best form with Liverpool, that was, you know, a good marriage. When he played his football on an international stage, they play him as an out-and-out winger, and he doesn't look half the play, you know. So sometimes it's a good fit, and I think it was for Liverpool and for him. And I think both will maybe regretting their sort of the fact that they're not still together. It says Zielinski's made it 3 for Napoli, who've scored a very comfortable victory over the 2 legs over Frankfurt. And our game now, it's more a talking curiosity rather than a game of football, because Liverpool, other than
the ball.
yeah, they're just, you know, not really giving it a go. Elliott chases the ball there, but they look long gone as Vinicius Junior runs through Alexander-Arnold. Now Benzema in the box, and his shot this time is over the top. They nearly applied the coup de grace, but not quite. Anyway, we are 3/4 of the way through the game. You're listening to independent off-tube studio commentary, and it's still 0-0, which makes it still 5-2 on aggregate for Los Blancos. I'm John Hogan. It's going to be Max Hunter now to take you through to full time.
Yeah, Benzema will be disappointed with that. Just leaning back, falling away as he took the shot. That was anything that's wrong. In Real Madrid, they're only really attacking with Benzema and Vinicius Junior. Everybody else is sort of moving the ball around nicely, and then when it gets to one of those two, it's like, right, you two run the show up here. We're going to just hang back here. Salah's got round Rudiger as he gets into the penalty area. Can he get something? He's off back to Gapco, just a moment too slow. And Nacho Fernandez comes across and blocks that attempted cross. As Milner regains the ball again, it's slow from Liverpool, it's lethargic. The ball needs to be moving a lot quicker. As Elliott's ball into the box, now blocked. As Trent Alexander-Arnold helps it over to Canate, appeals for a high boot, but Modric is a small man, so it doesn't have to be that high. But Felix Zweiger agrees. Klopp has now lost it. I don't know if that was at the referee or the defender's not getting back in position, as Real Madrid broke down the left-hand side, and now they've cut back in field. And now they've put the handbrake on as we just go to the Premier League as full-time whistles are blown there. Brighton 1, Palace 0, and Southampton 0, Brentford 2. So no change in terms of the bottom half of the Premier League. Crystal Palace, well, by the end of the weekend, they might be really dragged into the relegation scrap if results go against them.
Well, I assume they had shots on target tonight because they've gone 3 games without recording one,
Let's have a look.
which had been a league record, hadn't it, in their last few games. So, yeah, they've had a few tonight at least. So, an improvement of sorts. And of course, that's something of a derby game, isn't it? Brighton against Palace. They don't like each other, do they?
Yeah, there's so there's progress, there's hope. And Napoli, in the other game, as we just heard there, 3-0 up. This will be the first time they got to the quarter-finals in the top tier of European football, whether that's the European Cup in the old days or the Champions League now, of course. Winners of the UEFA Cup at the back end of the 80s with Maradona. Now the Europa League, that's called. And they'll be up for a bit of an upset. Nobody will want to go to Naples. Intimidating atmosphere. Old traditional stadium. And I imagine that the fans there will make your the sleep in the hotel very loud and noisy. As Real Madrid get back on the ball. Vinicius Jr. on the left-hand side of the penalty area gets round Alexander-Arnold, but then again he's had a bit of a kerfuffle, but still in possession of the ball. But everybody in red now is back, making it difficult. Harvey Elliott, so Firmino goes in with a heavy challenge, and the Brazilian skips round his countryman, and then Alexander-Arnold wins the ball back. I've got a story. I was in Naples in the summer, and Napoli were playing football, and it was like all the old men were on a street corner outside the TV store, and they were watching the game on the TV and thinking, what decade am I in? When do people watch TV outside the TV store on the street at 10 o'clock at night or whatever it was? It was a really not bizarre, but interesting experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. It's like very much old school, that, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Napoli. Yeah, be a tough place to go, I reckon. But you know what? It's been an easy place to go when they've not had a good team. It's as simple as that. So teams have done well there. Yeah, it's not a draw that you'd necessarily welcome, though.
Well, Harvey Elliott's just been called over. One of the assistant coaches from Klopp, just not caring to the technical area rules, just walking down the touchline with a piece of paper in hand. As Jurgen Klopp has now received the booking, obviously for his behaviour. And James Milner is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Oxlade-Chamberlain. Again, a player with good legs, a bit more attacking intent about him. Obviously saw that with his younger days at Southampton and Arsenal. And now that's the third change for Jurgen Klopp again. Some would say it's like for like, so he hasn't taken a massive risk in that change.
No, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain is an attacker, and I think that he's got a strike on him. You know, he's still going to have to dig in for the team, but you know,
it's a midfielder for a midfielder rather than a midfielder for a genuine striker.
But it's an attacking midfielder, isn't it? So, you know, and he can, and I think he has played as you know, an out-and-out attacker before, but you know, they still need to balance the team to some degree.
Well, Klopp is throwing his hands up at that challenge. He's not happy with the assistant referee's decision of Elliott on Militao, and you can see why Militao's on the ground there. Is Elliott's jumped into that tackle. He's trying to block. He's trying to jump to attempt the block, and he's just clattered in, stud showing onto the standing leg of.
Yeah, you can't do that, and really that should be a yellow card. Klopp's furious.
Klopp's got to be careful, because he could, if he gets sent off, that's the beginning. I'm sure I assume it might carry over to the group stage of next season.
Well, yeah.
Is it different for managers than
I think that he's got to be really careful, because he's screaming at somebody. You know, he's made a mistake there because it was a foul. And why should the fourth official have him sort of, you know, jumping up at him and being dead aggressive? Nobody should have to cope with that in the workplace. Anyway, here come Liverpool.
All over the top two. Got to think about the fourth official in the workplace.
Yeah, but exactly. He's only at work. He's just a lad at work. He don't want somebody screaming at his logo, coming up and fronting him up. I mean, he's not really there for that, is he?
Well, the German.
I don't know why
they're all German officials, and Jurgen Klopp might have been one of this poor fourth official's hero, and here he is, like a big gorilla, arms up all over him, shouting in his face.
You don't need that, and the referee's bang right to give him a yellow card for that. And I mean, I know he's frustrated, and it's one of those things, but it's not a good example, that is it?
Well, Liverpool have a free kick. There's 15 minutes to go. Robertson high ball into the box. Courtois coming and collects it, but there's a bit of he drops it and doesn't collect it the first time. The second time he manages to get it into his gloves, Let's have a look here. He's dropped it from his own accord. Nobody there. Firmino tried to got in the way of the first collection. Cover it, and Real Madrid back on possession. Nacho has the ball. Plays it here to Vinicius Junior. Modric is making a run up the middle. The veteran Croatian still showing he's got legs. He's ignored. Goes to Benzema. He's left it for Carvajal, who's you can see why Carvajal's not a regular goal scorer. Just one goal in Champions League football in the X amount of games. The experienced right back as he's fluffed it straight into the advertising holders.
How many games has he played in Champions League? It must be a stack, eh? You know.
Well, Real Madrid tonight are playing in their 300th Champions League game, the first to do so. Salah tees it up for Oxlade-Chamberlain, who tees up for Elliott. Now Robertson, plenty of opportunities to shoot, and they just cute angle. They had teased it up there twice or three times. I don't know how many times I said it, thinking that the bloke that he's teed it up for is going to strike for goal, and they didn't. They're just overplaying.
Yeah, they're waiting for a perfect opportunity. They were never in any shape to shoot. It is what it is there, you know. You just got to keep that ball moving until it presents an opportunity, and it never did.
Corner over hit. Valverde heads it away. He's been quiet in this second half. Valverde, ball pumped back in, is easily caught by Courtois. Benzema and Vinicius Junior immediately make runs, and then Courtois realises no, they just need to calm it down.
I think Valverde's been digging in just a little bit more. Klopp's furious, isn't he, about something or another. He's going to get himself sent off here. And it's pointless stuff, isn't it? Just take a leaf out the old fella's book there. Ancelotti, he's chewing his gum.
Well, that's the confidence of knowing you've won the game, isn't it?
But Ancelotti doesn't really, you know, he doesn't betray his thoughts too often, does he? You know, he just got that countenance. You know, he won't be overexcited by the win. He'll be happy. He wouldn't be distraught if they'd lost it. He just keeps his own counsel. I know Klopp shows he cares, and that, you know, some people love all that, but he's overdoing it a bit. Look, they're 5-2 down. No amount of him shouting and screaming obscenities at the fourth official is going to change that tonight.
Benzema on the ball. It's only 75 Champions League games in his career, Carvajal.
Oh, it's enough, isn't it?
It's enough, but it's nothing compared to the likes of 138 for Kroos and 125 for Modric. It's Real Madrid come forward, the ball over the top, Vinicius, he scuffs it, but it falls to Benzema, who just taps it into an empty net. And as he's wheeled away celebrating, he's hurt himself. He's come away with a bit of a hobble. Vinicius Junior doesn't come across with too much empathy. He's chuckling and laughing at his veteran striker, but there's the goal. Real Madrid have worked hard. It said it's been coming, and there it is. A bit it streaks it into an open net. The one time Alisson's not there, it's in the net.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't there to save. It was not his fault. Let's take a look. Camavinga had played that early ball, and Vinicius Junior so lucky there. He goes to strike the ball right foot, falls over the top of it, and then he's able to hook it to Benzema. Taking a look at the positions of Alisson Becker, he's in the right place, but nothing, you know, could help him out there. And it's great in a way by Vinicius Junior, because, you know, he's reacting on the spot to what's happening, and he's a real athlete to do that, but it's lucky as well.
Yeah, he's quick thinking. Yeah, there's a bit of luck that the ball's fallen within his, in and around him, within just a few centimetres away, so he's able to prod it across to his strike partner. But there's the goal that the fans have been waiting for all evening. Is that the white scarves are aloft and they're lassoing up in the air. Is that the right term? Swinging around anyway.
I like lassoing. Yeah,
is it lasso the act of throwing, or is lassoing the act of spinning it around above your head?
Well, I think lasso is the name of the rope, isn't it, with the knot in it?
Yeah,
well, lasso.
But
that's what yeah. So they're lassoing their scarves. I like that. That works for me. I'm glad we've sorted that out anyway.
Listener, it's going to have to work for you because we've said it here. As Benzema's just getting a bit of treatment. Well, he was getting a bit of treatment before the lasso chat, and he's now in the middle of the field running around. As it's Real Madrid 1, Liverpool 0, aggregate score of 6-2 in favour of Real Madrid, and in the other game it's Napoli 3, Frankfurt 0, so that's in favour of Napoli to 5-0 over the 2 legs, as both games are entering the final 10 minutes. And the game is truly gone now, because Liverpool need to find 4 goals in 10 minutes, as we just said. And it's just kind of like knocking around. If the referee blew the whistle now, he might do, well, he certainly do Jurgen Klopp a favour, who's like a volcano. He's just bubbling away on that near side. As Nacho just squares up to Mo Salah. A few players of his own team have just had to run over and tell him what the score is, and tell him it's don't need to pick yourself up a yellow card. And to be fair, Salah doesn't want to scrap. He immediately just puts his hands up to say no thank you. And the changes are made now for Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti's first time he's gone to the bench this evening, and he's bringing Dani Ceballos on for Luka Modric. And the second,
Rodrigo, I think, coming on for probably Benzema, isn't it?
Yeah, Benzema.
Rodrigo started at the weekend in the 3-1 victory over Espanyol. He's a very good player, and a good player to come off the bench as well. But Benzema reminded us again, if we needed to be reminded, captain's knock, kept on going, and eventually grabbed his goal.
That is now, he's now got 89 goals in the Champions League and 149 Champions League appearances, so it's not a bad return.
No, it's good.
Good goals to ratio. So he'll be playing, well, you'd assume he'll be playing his 150 Champions League game in the quarter-final, against who we'll find out Friday lunchtime. Still got all the Europa League and Europa Conference League action tomorrow, which you can, of course, catch on this service. Elliot's got a turn, his chance for shoot. But it's a rather tame effort.
Listen,
high into Courtois.
I'm writing it down.
Write it down.
Because I've had nothing to write down in the Liverpool column in this second half. Not really. They've been really toothless, and it's been a very disappointing night. You know, they came out bristling with aggression. I always think that they've kind of been messing about with their own system, haven't they? Either trying to refine it or do something new. But like we said, you know, when Jurgen Klopp was first there, they were a steamroller, you know, heavy metal football. But what's happened to that? You know, refined to the point where I don't really understand what they're trying to do or how they're trying to do it. You know, Salah's worked hard again tonight, but they've never flooded the box. They've never been able to sustain any pressure. As Asensio now is another good player. He's on for Vinicius Junior. He's run his race again, and Cruz goes off. So all the family silver's going off now.
Protect it.
And Aurelien Tchouameni, who was another one who I think started the weekend. He comes on.
So the ones that need protecting have come off, really. The Fab Four, the Super Four, Fantastic Four. Back on the bench, wrapped in cotton wool. As just looking at the stats for the first half for Liverpool, 8 goal attempts, 4 on target, which is good going away in the Champions League. In the knockout round, they were playing well. And then this second half, 1 goal attempt, 1 shot on target,
I'll tell you
which we just heard.
What surprises me about Real Madrid, when you look at the squad that they've got what, 23 guys, really. I mean, that's it's a tiny squad, really. When you consider it's Real Madrid, you'd be assuming there'd be 35 or 40 players in there. You know, in a great big pool, they're all big names. That ain't necessarily the case. The player just slipped there, went down, and I think Dani Ceballos there might be injured, but anyway, no,
he's up and around, moving, chasing the ball. Oh, look, a little bit stiff there. Oxlade-Chamberlain with some good footwork, helps it off to Elliott. Again, maybe just guilty of 1 pass too many, but it's fallen to Alexander-Arnold. Takes it to the byline, and Rudiger sliding across. He enjoys that, just sliding into space, anticipating the ball, and it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, he's played well tonight. He'd be a candidate man of the match. I think for me, Alisson would be man of the match, even in a 1-0 defeat right now. Other than that, I'd be thinking Toni Kroos has really put in a vintage display. Commanded midfield, anticipated the ball really well, passed it really well. You know, I think they've been in control. But you know, there's been a lot of good performances. I mean, Vinicius Junior's been good tonight. Valverde first half, you know.
Yeah, may go to Benzema because he's got the goal, hasn't he? But you could really give it to anybody in the sort of the Real Madrid attacking line on midfielders. Carvajal is now coming off. He's been replaced by Lucas Vazquez. So